Before we start off today's video, if you guys would like to join my Discord server, link will be in the description and it will also be in that pinned comment. But anyway, let's get right into today's video. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Now, like I said last week, that there was a person who said that they wanted to see a Peugeot review, and I've got the comment here again and I'm going to read it again. Hi, I've been looking at the Peugeot 308 2008 for a while. I really like it, but I would like your take on it as well, from all the different aspects of the car. Now of course, I'm going to do it, I'm going to oblige. Now this person obviously probably wants me to be really kind to this car because like they said, you know, they really like it and they've been looking at it, etc. But I'm gonna be brutally honest with my own opinions. Unfortunately it may ruin it, but I'm not gonna just be biased towards this car. I mean, towards the Subarus I'm not even biased, I try not to be. So I'm not gonna be biased here and I'm gonna just give my own brutal opinion. It's not all bad, so don't worry. But anyway, this is the Peugeot 308. This is the Mark 1 version, because obviously there's 3 now. This one, and the one after, and then the current one, which looks super stylish. But anyway, this is how the first one was, and it did succeed the 307, which was, well, the 307 was just lame to me. It's just a lame lump of poop. And frankly, the 308, it kind of feels like that as well. Only when we got to the facelifted second generation of 308, then it became not poop. But anyway, let's get right into today's video. So when it comes to the exterior looks, for me, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you this, it does look like every Peugeot of the time. You know, it does have the big Peugeot logo with that squarish thing in the nose. It's always like that silver surround thing with the silver logo and then just a little bit of grille within it. Big grille at the bottom, like a big smile. It's always been like that. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's not for me personally. When it does come to the facelift, they have changed a few things, so that Peugeot badge, the grille has actually been shut off and it's just some black plastic metal, I don't know what it is. The grille has been shrunken, so that's good, and the lights, well the bottom ones anyway, have got LEDs by the looks of it, and it does look a whole lot better for it. Still not pretty, but the facelift does make it a whole ton better. The side profile, well, again, it kind of looks like Peugeots of the time, just slightly altered. So you can see a bit of 307 in it, you can see a bit of 207 in it. It's kind of like that. I mean, it's a bit bulbous, I guess. I mean, I've seen worse, but bulbous is really the only word I can suggest for this picture. The rear of the pre-facelift, well, again, it's kind of a similar design aspect to Peugeots of the time. It's something. I mean, the boot does have a crease, that's it. However, the facelift, it does get improved. That crease now has a bit of silver strip, and then at the ends there is no silver strip, so that's good. The bottom does look a bit more sporty with that black plastic, whatever it is, and it just seems less bulbous. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but it does seem like that. When it comes to the interior, well, again, it's, you know, it's kind of like Peugeots at the time. Like the radio controls, exactly the same as every Peugeot and Citroën at the time. I know, my dad used to own a 207, and the 207 was the very first car review I did on this channel. Well, after I revived it anyway. And, well, instead of being black, it's silver, the background of the stereo thing. The buttons, of course, black. But it's pretty much just the same. I mean, silver gear knob, exactly the same. And the display, it's that classic small orange thing that shows, you know, your CD, radio, lights, temperature, all the basic stuff you need to see. Pretty much all Peugeots had it like that. I mean, the buttons are a bit low, especially the climate ones. They're very low. I mean, I'm pretty sure there would have been something in that big gap. Maybe, I'm not sure what would have been there. Maybe that would have been where the radio would have been put, the stereo, and then a sat nav on top. I don't know, honestly, I don't know. But either way, there are some low controls in it, and, well, I'm pretty sure that, you know, some materials are decent enough in quality and then some aren't, because this is Peugeots of the 2000s. When it comes to the performance, God help me, and I've probably said that a few times. So when it came to petrol, you got a 1.4 litre VTI engine with 95 or 98 horsepower, a 1.6 litre VTI with 120 horsepower, and then a 1.6 litre THP. THP is a turbo engine that had 150 horsepower or 175 horsepower. Those are non-GTI versions, and if you did want to get the GTI, it would have 200 horsepower, and that would be the same 1.6 litre THP engine. Now when it comes to the diesels, you had a 1.6 litre HDI with either 90 horsepower or 110 horsepower. And then you got a 1.6 litre E HDI with 112 or 115 horsepower. I believe the E meant for that it had stop start. I'm not sure, I've read that somewhere, so it could be that. And then you got a 2 litre HDI with either 140 horsepower, 150 horsepower, and 163 horsepower. Now, the thing is that if you get the most basic versions like the 90 horsepower diesel or the 95 horsepower petrol 1.4, then it's going to be quite slow. I mean, very slow. I mean, the car's not light because of course Peugeots did gain a bit of weight during then, and the power, well, it wasn't great during the time. Look at the 207, 73 horsepower in a car that weighed a couple hundred kilograms more than the 206. Took ages. So my recommendation is do get a more powerful engine. Get the 1.6 litre petrol, either one of those, or do get a higher powered 1.6 litre or the 2 litre. But anyway, as usual, we're going to pick one of these engines and power outputs, and then we're going to look at the specs of those. So for the petrol one, I have chosen the 1.4 litre inline naturally aspirated one with 4 cylinders, 98 horsepower this one, and 102 pound-feet of torque. It is of course front wheel drive. Because there's about 1 billion trims, you know, the weight is bound to change, so I've stuck with 1,300 kilograms plus. Gearbox was a 5-speed manual. 0 to 60 was 12.3 seconds, which does seem somewhat slow. Like I said, it is a bit tad under. Top speed is 114 miles an hour, so at least that is decent. But for the diesel, I've gone for the 1.6 litre inline with a turbo, 115 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. Front wheel drive once again. Again 1,300 kilograms plus. It did come with a 6-speed manual, so that is obviously good. 0 to 60 was 12.1 seconds, so that still is not rapid. And the top speed is 118 miles an hour. Now of course some of these engines did have automatic gearboxes, but the engines I've chose don't have it, or the ones with the power outputs and the engines don't have it. When it comes to the practicality, well, the boot was 347 litres big, and that was, well, it was average for this kind of car. It was decent enough, and that's frankly all I have to say. I mean, it wasn't terrible. When it comes to the rear seats, however, the headroom was decent enough. However, the legroom was on the tighter side, so it's not going to be the best for long journeys for legroom. Headroom, you might just about be okay with that one. And of course, practicality, definitely my shortest segment in this whole review, nothing else to say. When it comes to the handling, well, I mean, I feel like Peugeot didn't try with anything during this time. I mean, sure, it was comfortable for the passengers, it rode decently well. However, the actual handling, now I'm not saying I expect the handling to be superb, I'm not saying that at all. However, it was somewhat plain. I mean, there wasn't much feel to it. I mean, I should probably expect that, but not to this extent. But otherwise, it's not the best. I mean, it's not exciting. I mean, it will get you where you need to go. Just don't expect any fun on a B road unless you have the lowest expectations, and then suddenly it is fun for you. But you know what? It rides decently well. It's, you know, could be worse. Both could be terrible. Anything else worth noting? Well, you could get many styles. You could get a 3-door. You could get a 5-door estate known as the SW. And you could get a coupe cabriolet, also known as the CC. And also, reliability on Peugeots during this time wasn't fantastic. Look at the 207. the very first review I done, I completely complained about how bad reliability was, and my dad's car, the 207, was not great either. So reliability is somewhat questionable. I mean, I know the 207 is probably the most unreliable Peugeot to exist, probably. This, I'm not sure, unfortunately. I can't imagine it's tip-top. Could just about do you. It's about luck, I guess, if you're lucky to get a reliable Peugeot. But anyway, what is the verdict? So the pros are, it has decent headroom, decent boot space, it has various engine choices, different body styles to choose from, and a comfortable ride. However, the cons are, it's generally not a pretty exterior, lower powered engines are a bit slow, or should I say wheezy, some interior controls are quite low, reliability is somewhat questionable. I say somewhat, it is 100% questionable. The legroom is tight, and the handling was plain. Now, I don't know if this person's going to be happy with the fact that, you know, there's somewhat more cons or just a lot of cons of the pros, but unfortunately this is just how I see the car in my own personal preferences and opinions. I mean, some of it, you know, like the headroom and legroom I found on a review, so that's not even my choice. I've just seen that and said, okay, I've got to say it, it's an important aspect. Someone else has already tested that. But unfortunately, that's that. But anyway, if you guys would like to check out my reaction channel,
Directions. Write as many words with the same pattern. UCK. Truck. Buck. Tuck. F word.
at least it didn't actually spell it out.
Frankie. I earn money at home by. I don't. I'm a freeloader. 2 plus 2 equals 4. I can do math.
Just expect it's out of my throat, that laugh. Then I will leave a link to that in the description below. If you could subscribe, that would mean an absolute ton to me. Now, I've probably said this about 3 times in a row now, maybe more. I blur a car and I get you to guess it in the comments below. But I did a post where I said I passed my driving test on the 22nd of September. And so instead of doing a car review, I am going to be telling you my experience of my driving test on that day. But that doesn't stop you from leaving a comment below to see if you do want a car review, which will happen after this video is done. And if you'd like to check out the whole post, then just check the community section. Now, like I said, if you want me to review a car, then you can just leave it in the comments. It's as simple as that, really. And I'll see you guys for next week's video, and that again will be a face video, so you'll see my face. Hopefully I'm not spotty, please. I know I'm a teenager, I just don't want to be spotty. But peace out guys, I'll see you then.